Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Classic Movie Buffet Theater. Oh, thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. I got a good one, I believe, lined up for you. So first of all, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the new subscribers that we've gotten. I've been seeing some likes on the videos, which is fantastic. Thank y'all so much. I greatly appreciate it. Now, the movie we're going to talk about today came out on February 12th of 1988, and it was directed by a fellow who has had a career in stunt work. He did several shows, did several stunts for the A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, all these different TV shows, and this was his directorial debut, and his name is Craig R. Baxley, and he directed such great films as Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. And he directed the great I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. And that had Matthias Hughes was in that film as well. He was a bad guy in that one. And he directed the TV miniseries Stephen King's Rose Red. And that will always be one of my favorite Stephen King TV movie adaptations. Was Rose Red. Fantastically done. And the film we're talking about today is called Action Jackson. And like I said, it came out in 1988. And it stars the great Carl Weathers, who plays Detective Jericho Jackson. And he's also played in such films as Rocky. Of course, he played Apollo Creed. Everybody knows that. And he also played Chubbs in the film Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. And he had a TV series. Now, I vaguely remember this series. Let me know down in the comments if y'all remember it, if you liked it or not. It was a series called Fortune Dane. Like I said, I vaguely remember it. I know I've seen it before. It looked the poster that I got for it looked very familiar. Something from my childhood, anyways. We'll put it that way. And the film also stars Craig T. Nelson, who plays Peter Delaplane, and he also played in such films as Creature. Now that was a TV miniseries that was written by Peter Benchley, based off a story by Peter Benchley. Uh, it was either a 2 or 3 night miniseries. It was a good movie. It was good. I liked it. I got it on DVD. I think it's the longer version of the film, but it was shortened up for the DVD release. Um, but it was a good film. I liked it. I liked it. And of course, he also played in the classic horror film Poltergeist. I always liked that little lady that was in that movie. I can't think of her name right off the bat, but I always did like that little old lady in that movie. And he also played in Turner and Hooch, and that was with Tom Hanks and Reginald Vell Johnson was in that film. Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Yeah, that was a good movie. I liked that movie. And the film also stars the great Vanity, and she plays the character of Sydney Ash. Now, she also played in several films, one of which is called Never Too Young to Die. And this film also had John Stamos in it, and it also had Gene Simmons from Kiss in that film. It was kind of like if any of you have ever seen Alex Rider Operation Stormbreaker, it was kind of like that. Um, John Stamos's father was a secret agent, and he didn't know about it, and something happened. He died, so he got involved in his father's work. Gene Simmons played the villain in the movie. It's a great action movie. It's pretty funny. I kind of liked it. I liked it when I first watched it. Not real fond of the Gene Simmons character, but he did good in it. He did good in it. Coffee. All right, and let's see. She also played in The Last Dragon. Now that was a great film that was with had Timac and I can't remember who the other guy was that played the character of Show Nuff. He was good. But it also has a very young Ernie Reyes Jr. in that film, and it's a great film. It's a funny comedy film that has a little bit of martial arts mixed in with it. It is a great film. And she also played on Friday the 13th, the series. Now, she played in two different episodes. She was in season one, episode 15, and then again, she was in season two, episode 20. Um, I didn't even realize that she was in those, so that's a shock to me. I got the whole set on DVD. I'll have to go back and watch those episodes um, to see if I could spot her in there. But I never even knew she played in that. Of course, she wasn't big back then when that show was out. That or I just didn't recognize her, didn't place her from anything else. So the plot for this film is vengeance drives a tough Detroit cop to stay on the trail of a power hungry auto magnate who is systematically eliminating his competition. Okay, that's kind of a weird plot for an action movie, but it works. So let's take a look at the trailer for Action Jackson. Here we go.
Why do they call you Action anyway?
I think catch a cab. Now I got you.
He's a cop who carries no weapon.
This Jackson is so vicious, we don't even let him have a gun. Yeah!
He's a maverick who answers to no one.
You might pull that boy's arm off.
He had a spare.
He's a man who's no talk
I bet I can make you change your mind.
and all action.
How do you like your ribs?
The indefatigable Action Jackson.
The one big fella.
Some action.
You haven't learned your lesson.
Teach me.
You sure could teach Mr. T a thing or two.
So allow me to lay my healing hands upon you. What do you want from me?
I want you to die.
1, 2, 3.
When it calls for action, he's the one to call.
If I was to hit you again, you'd probably slam my little body right through that wall. I was thinking about it.
Carl Weathers is Action Jackson, and action is on the way.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
All right, that was the trailer for the great Action Jackson, starring Carl Weathers. It's a pretty standard action flick, uh, standard genre flick in some respects. Action Jackson maintains an irresistibly silly, tongue-in-cheek style. It's often so damn silly that it's hilarious, as a matter of fact. In his first starring vehicle, Carl Weathers once again shows off effortless charisma and his chiseled body, proving he is a natural for roles like this. We've seen him several times. You know, everybody's seen him. Predator, you know, in different movies like that, but never as a main character in the lead role. So this was his first, and I think he did really well. He did very well. I wish they would have done more with him as this character. This film comes up with a couple of one-liners, some better than others. The cliches are there too. We have the kind of talking villain who feels the obligation to tell his whole plan, his whole evil plan, wrongfully assuming, of course, that the hero is toast. Craig T. Nelson played this role very well. I enjoyed his character in this movie, even though he did come off as kind of a psycho guy, you know, but he still did really well. Craig R. Baxley is a longtime stunt specialist, as I said earlier. In his career, it dating all the way back to the early '70s. Of course, like I said, this is making his directorial debut, so the film is naturally full of great stunt work. There was a lot of car chase scenes. There was one scene where Carl Weathers throws one guy through an apartment window and he sails across an alley into the other apartment window. Great scene. Great stunt, great scene. One awesome aspect of the movie is playing Spot, the familiar character. There are several characters that have short roles in this film. They make a little appearance in them. Uh, some including Robert Davi. A lot of people know Robert Davi from the Maniac Cop movies. Um, Chino Fats Williams, also in the film. Miguel Nunez Jr. is also in the film, and the great Sonny Landham, who played in 48 Hours. He was also in Predator. Big name, big name. So it was those three guys, plus, there's other actors in there um, that you can kind of pick out as you go through watching the movie. You're like, hey, I know that guy, or hey, I know that guy. So there's a lot of pop in characters in this movie. That's what made it so great. Um, Add to the special appearances by all these different characters. You got to add in the very '80s pop soundtrack, led by the song. Um, what was the name of that song? He Turned Me Out by the Pointer Sisters. That was the main theme of the song. There were also two songs on the soundtrack that was done by Vanity herself. A score by Herbie Hancock and Michael Kamen as well. So it had a really good kind of music background to it. The music really picked up the essence of the '80s in this film. A fantastic soundtrack. Fantastic soundtrack. Um, it's got a fairly high body count in this film. So, but that's nothing new for an action flick. And it has a very lively finish to the end of the film. Um, you put all that in there. You put a bitch ass soundtrack. Pardon my French. You put a bitch ass soundtrack in there. You got Carl Weathers, and you got all these pop up characters, and you got a great '80s soundtrack to go along with the film. You put all that in there, and you got a damn fine 96 minutes of an action movie. It's pure entertainment. Pure entertainment. It does get better than this, but not for Carl Weathers. Uh, Carl Weathers does an amazing job in this film, and like I said, I wished he would have had more lead roles. Uh, that would have been fantastic for him, and I would have enjoyed him. I would have watched him. I loved Carl Weathers. He was an amazing actor. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. He was an amazing actor. If you can appreciate movies from the '80s, this one will be a welcome addition to any library, collector's library. I own the film myself. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I've watched it and watched it and watched it, but even just going through and doing the background check and doing all the notes and stuff for this movie, it makes me want to go back and watch it again. It's been a while since I have watched it. I would say it's probably been I don't know. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've watched it, but I enjoyed the movie every single time I watched it. And the funny parts that are in the film, you'll laugh every time, no matter how many times you've seen it. The delivery of the one-liners and the lead up to the funny scenes in the film is spot on, and it's just hilarious. No matter how many times you watch, it's downright hilarious. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into some trivia on the film. The classic movie buffet dessert section of the video, we'll call it that. Trivia number one. Carl Weathers came up with the idea for this film while on set of Predator. in 1987. During conversations with Joel Schumacher, or not Joel Schumacher, I'm sorry, Joel Silver, um, they found out they by working together on the set of Predator, both of them had a love of black exploitation films. And while discussing that, Carl Weathers came up with the idea for this movie and pitched it to Joel Silver. Uh, so that's pretty cool. Working on a movie with Schwarzenegger and you come up with your own idea for a film, and you've already got the great Joel Silver right there to discuss it with. He's a producer, so hey, go for it, man. And it's a film that both of them like, that film type. The studio hoped to turn this film into a franchise, but it never happened. Dangerous Passion from 1990 with Carl Weathers, an unrelated film, was retitled Action Jackson 2 in other countries. Um, like I said, I would have liked to have seen this film become a franchise. I would have at least watched two parts of it. If they would have made a sequel, I would have watched it. I enjoyed the first one so much, I would have watched the second one. No problem whatsoever. Um, but I don't think I've ever seen Dangerous Passion. I might have to see if I can find that on a streaming service or something somewhere and try to watch it. But that's pretty cool. They retitled it Action Jackson in other countries. Okay, that works. That works. Let's see. This film, I think I had it wrote down over here on my notes over here. Yeah, yeah. This film became a cult hit. It was a box office success despite mixed reviews from critics. The budget for the movie was, I forgot to mention that, the budget for the movie was actually $7 million. But the worldwide gross for that movie was $20,256,976. So yeah, it was a box office hit. Uh, why? I mean, they had planned to do a sequel. So, um, despite mixed reviews from critics, the planned sequel was scrapped after the film company sold the rights to Sony Pictures, which later sold its library to Warner Brothers. I'm surprised Warner Brothers didn't jump on that and go ahead and make a sequel. Um, they had to have known that the company had to have known how much money that movie pulled in, even though it wasn't one of theirs. But they now own the rights to it, so why would they have not made another one? That kind of baffles me a little bit. Like I said, I would have watched if they had made a sequel. I'd have watched it. I'd have watched it for sure. Uh, Both Carl Weathers and Vanity appeared in the music video for the film's theme song. He Turned Me Out by the Pointer Sisters. I think I remember seeing that video. It's been so long though. I might have to look it up and watch it again. But that's cool that they see. That's what I was saying in one of my other videos. I was talking about how they don't make videos. They don't make music to go with movies anymore. You used to have at least one or two songs, unless it's something like Dirty Dancing, where you had two or three different songs that was devoted strictly to that film. They just don't seem to do that anymore. Or it's not just like I said, it's just not put out there. It's common knowledge that they do. I wish they go back to that. That was there was some great music to come out of that. Some great music. Carl Weathers played pro football for 5 years in the NFL and in the Canadian Football League before starting his acting career. The dude had the shoulders for it. We'll put it that way. He had the body for it. Um, that's pretty cool. I don't know what team he played for. It didn't say in the notes, but if any of you out there know what team Carl Weathers played for, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to know what team he played for in the NFL and the Canadian Football League. Filming of this movie ran over by 3 months, as it took that long for the cast to get their heads wrapped around the overly complicated plot of the film. Carl Weathers himself admitted to not having a clue what the film was really about at the start of production. Um, it's kind of a mixed up plot. Like I said, it's a weird plot, like I read in the synopsis. Um, Peter Delaplane, played by Craig T. Nelson, is an automotive god, more or less. He thinks he is, anyways, in producing cars. He owns a shop that makes cars. Uh, so, in order to get rid of all of his competition, he has his own team of soldiers, I guess you would call them, or mercenaries, that takes out his opponents systematically. Um, it's kind of a weird plot, but it works. It works really well. I was surprised how well it worked. Cast members Jack Thabau, I think I'm saying that name correctly, Mary Ellen Trainor, Edo Ross, and Al Leong all appeared in the previous year's Lethal Weapon, also produced by Joel Silver. Al Leong, you will spot him the moment if you know this guy, you will spot him, and once you see him, you will realize that this dude played in every single movie almost that was produced in the 1980s and 90s. This dude was synonymous with action films and martial arts films. Well-known blacksmith Jack Crane made the knives in this movie, having also made the knives in Predator, Die Hard, and Commando. I really didn't pay that much attention to the knives in the movie. Um, but hey, he's got to be doing something right if he's made knives for each one of those films. And each one of those films were big films back in the 80s, big films. Especially Die Hard. Die Hard was just action from start to finish almost. Pop singer, dancer, and television personality Paula Abdul conducted the dance choreography scenes in the film. I think there's only one, maybe two. I don't think there's any more than two. I could be wrong on that. Um, but she did the choreography for the dance scenes in the film. And finally, Carl Weathers, who was 39 when shooting started, joked the rigorous shooting schedule for the action sequences aged his body into its 60s and blamed director Craig R. Baxley for that. Um, we all know by seeing these guys like Jackie Chan and Tom Cruise and Schwarzenegger, a lot of these guys do their own stunts. Especially when watching Jackie Chan films, you can tell the toll that it takes on a man's body. Jackie Chan, like I've said in videos before, has probably broken every bone in his body at least two or three times. The man is phenomenal in his action sequences. Sooner or later, hopefully before his death, heaven forbid, he will realize that he needs to start using stuntmen. But you know, he's always done it. That's the way he was started the business, and that's probably going to be the way he will retire, is doing his own stunts. The man is fantastic. But this is a tremendous action movie. If you love the '80s action, the one-liners, the explosions, the gun battles, the fist fights, you'll love this movie. You will love this movie. And like I said, you even get to play Pick a Familiar Face because they're mixed in throughout the whole entire film. You're bound to see somebody in there that you know. Uh, like I said, this was a great film. It did well at the box office. Like I said, I wish they would have made sequels. I would have watched at least one or two of them. Um, but it never came about, and that's a miss. That is a true miss in the industry. They make these films and then they come out with sequels that they shouldn't even come out with. But they hit a blockbuster like this and then a sequel never comes out. It's sad. It's sad. Carl Weathers was an amazing actor, like I said. I enjoyed a lot of his films. Um, Sadly, he was taken away from us Uh, and I think he was even supposed to play in the Happy Gilmore 2 that came out on Netflix before he passed away, but it didn't. It didn't work out that way, and I would have loved to have seen him in that because it was a hilarious movie, and they did pay homage to him in that movie, which was fantastic. But with that being said, we're going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the work I'm putting out there, the videos I'm putting out, and I hope you enjoyed this movie. If you've seen this movie before and it is one of your favorites, let me know down in the comment section below. Uh, and if even after you watched it, let me know down in the comment section what you thought of it. Did you like it, or did you just hate it, or what about it did you hate? And let me know what your favorite part in the film was. Uh, just anything you want to talk about, just leave it down in the comment section. And we'll talk about it. But like I said, thank y'all so much for tuning in today. There will be a movie on class. There will be a Mikey's Saturday Nightmares on Saturday. I'm going to try to get that filmed Friday night if I can. That way, all I have to do is put it out on Saturday. But there will be one on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And now next week there will be. There might be a classic movie buffet, but there may not be. And there will not be a Mikey Saturday Nightmares next week. I plan on going out of town next week for a few days. Um, I don't know for sure if I'm going to leave on Wednesday or Thursday. If I do not leave until Wednesday, or if I do not leave until Thursday, I will put a video out. If not, I won't make a video at all next week, and then we'll start the week after fresh. Um, uh, I have a Facebook page now, so I will post on there what the plan is for next week, whether there'll be videos or not, and I will post in the YouTube community section. That way, you guys will know what's up one way or the other. But hopefully, I can make at least one video next week, and then I'll kick back and start with the two videos the week after I come back from my trip. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the videos. And remember, if you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, become part of the Mafia family. You're welcome here, any and all. Any and all people are welcome here. Um, so for now, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.